Welcome to Search for Signs. My name is Gary Willing. If this information interests you, please press the like and subscribe button and press the bell for notifications. For the number of years that I have known about Maitreya and was willing to speak out in public about it, you get a lot of people talking about how, Jesus is the only true Savior, if you don't believe in him, you're going to hell, you should fear God, and all that kind of stuff. And I put up a video before I actually saw that Benjamin Creme put a video up, and it's much better to hear it coming from him. But so I didn't mean to copy it, but it was just I put up a video about what I think is the most meaningful and significant article that his master ever put up. It's entitled "The Son of Man," and Benjamin Creme read it on YouTube, and it brings tears to my eyes every time I hear it because of the power and the truth behind what the Christ is. And one of the lines that his master said in it was, the Christ is down throughout the ages has been viewed as this omniscient judge, come to, how did he put it, to judge, to judge the wicked and reward the faithful or something. And he said that it was so sad that such a distorted view of the Christ has so permeated human consciousness, I think is how he put it. And to back this whole, message up, right, there was a time when I saw Maitreya on the street at a peace rally that I was at, a very tiny peace rally, but it was a peace rally nonetheless. And on the heels of me one night in private having kind of a little bit of a breakdown, about something. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. I don't want to get into it personally. But anyway, I said to him mentally, I said, I can't even call myself a disciple, right, of you, because I don't do much, right? And I'm lazy, I'm this, that, and the other. I felt really bad about it. And of course, then I started, the next day I woke up, I felt better about it, didn't think about it. And then I saw Maitreya at this peace rally. And he talked about a lot of other stuff. But when I was walking to my car, he looked at me, and I can't remember exactly how he didn't really segue into it. He kind of stopped abruptly and then said this to me. And it really, shook me, when he said it. But he goes, I never judge anyone on whether they're good or bad. I only notice the good things that they do. And we all are a mixture of good and bad, right? But yet the Christ doesn't see us like that. And Benjamin Creme's master once wrote in an article that even Jesus, so even if you don't believe in Maitreya, right, or whatever, but Jesus himself never has and never will use the word punishment or judgment. Masters and Maitreya don't see themselves as that, and they see the truth in the matter, is that we're all just moving along at our own pace. They've been where we're at. They've struggled with the struggles that we've had. They've had to overcome fear and anxiety and stress and anger and violence and all that stuff within their own nature, and they conquered it because they're souls in incarnation, and that's the purpose of all the souls. And then they'll also tell you that, and when you see Maitreya, he's going to remind us that we are souls in incarnation. And they're going to demonstrate for us what that is like. They're not just hypocritically talking about it, and they're not going to lecture at it the way that I'm talking about it, because I haven't mastered it yet either. But these masters have mastered that truth, that they're one, that they're souls in incarnation. So there's no judge out there judging us. Where the law of cause and effect comes into play is it's a universal principle or universal law that governs every man, woman, and child above the age of 7, because prior to the age of 7, the masters actually, in some kind of way, the child does not generate any karma for themselves. or maybe it's because they're not 100% selfish the way that adults are, I guess. I don't know. But they do it as a protective measure. Now, it doesn't mean that the child's not burning off karma from a previous lifetime. That's like what Peter asked when he asked Jesus, about the man who was born blind. Is it something that he did or something that his father did? And asking in reference to not only reincarnation, but also the law of cause and effect. So, children burn off karma just like adults do. But what the masters would say is that we all have karma, good and bad. All of us have more good karma than bad karma, believe it or not, no matter how bad the person is. But we only are given what we can handle at that time. It's a universal law, just as universal as the law of cause and effect itself. So we're never given more than we can deal with. And that law is so complex that, let's say somebody has to burn off 1,000 things for an event that they did, in this life or the last life, doesn't matter, but just as an example. Well, sometimes they might be given the whole 1,000, payoff at one time, or it might be kind of subdivided to make it easier for the person to kind of, deal with it. But that's where our struggles in life really come from, is from our own making. Not from anything that God has done to us, not because God is judging us or anything like that. It's coming from our own misuse of our free will. Now, these masters and these space brothers live within that law. They live harmlessly. That's why they don't generate karma for themselves the way that we do. But they're here to teach us how to live like that. Now, it started, at least in the Western Hemisphere, it started with Jesus saying, "What you sow, so shall you reap." Now, there's a lot more to that law than just that, but that in and of itself sums the whole thing up. That's why it's so simple. That's why it lasted for centuries, that statement. But it was so simple that it's missed by most Christians and theologians. Now, the Buddha, of course, talked about karma. Krishna talked about karma even before Jesus was around. All the great teachers in life, in history, have all spoken about that universal law, the law of cause and effect. Even Shakespeare in his writings were talking about that. Even Bach in his music talked about those universal principles some kind of way, as only a musician could do. And those universal principles will govern in our minds how to live. So the Christian view that it's all about the Ten Commandments. Yes, the Ten Commandments help you to live, right? Who wants to, nobody should be striving to be a liar or a murderer or a cheater or a thief or whatever, right? But at the same time, it really is about what you sow, so shall you reap. And Maitreya, of course, is talking about that, and we'll be talking about that. But it not only affects individuals, but it also affects the nations, and it affects all of us as humanity as a whole. And when we put up these videos about the environment, right? Well, that's our karma coming back on us. The illnesses that the misuse of the environment is creating on humanity as a whole, the cancers, the tuberculosis, the early onset of Alzheimer's and so forth, which is, according to Maitreya and the Masters, is a direct result of the pollution in the world, right? And also, of course, not being able to drink water in natural states. We have to process it so much, and everything is all a part of our misuse of our free will. So it's our karma, right? Same thing with wars. War creates its own karma in its own way, which creates all sorts of natural disasters in the country that perpetrates those wars and so forth. And then it trickles down to groups, to races, to individuals and so forth, families and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, the masters are here and will be teaching us, and well, they have taught us for centuries, but now it's going to be more direct and with a lot more information about that one universal law, the law of cause and effect. And as always, take action. Help SOP save our planet. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to talking to you again in future videos. Have a great day.